Hello and welcome back, audience. My name is MassiveBrad and welcome back to my FIFA 20 Liverpool career mode. Now, before we get into today's episode, I just want to say a huge big thank you for love and support on the channel. And as always, guys, at the start of today's episode, we're quickly going to look at the games that lie ahead. Now, the last episode was called Difficult Choices, and that is because we are coming up to the stage now where we're in March and it's becoming difficult to choose which games we should play and which one we should simulate. And we sort of have the same situation in today's episode. We're taking on Spurs at Anfield in the Premier League. We then take on Burnley in the Emirates FA Cup quarterfinals, which in the FA Cup so far we have been putting out the kids and they've been doing a tremendous job. And then, of course, our final game in today's episode is the second leg in the round of 16 against Bayer Leverkusen in the Champions League, which in the first leg, we did manage a 3-1 victory away from home. So we're back at home, which basically means that as long as we can score early on, I would have thought this game was put to bed. Having 3 away goals, it puts us in a very, very positive situation. But before we get into today's episode, first I want to mention to you guys that if you can hear like a fan noise or a type of hoover, you can hear air being blown. It is currently 11 p.m. here in the UK. In Liverpool, it's 11 p.m. It is 27 degrees in my office right now. So I've got a fan under the desk here, blowing cold air on me because I will be just dripping in sweat. And if you guys see a slight glaze or a sweat glaze over my face, I can only apologise. It's been so hot, and tomorrow it's going to be 29 degrees. It's 27 degrees in this room right now, so I need this fan. So unfortunately, guys, if you can hear, I can only apologise. And also, of course, before we kick off today's video, I want to get over to my favourite part of the videos, and that is reading your guys' comments from the previous episode. So the first comment was actually left by myself, and it was asking, guys, I could really use some help for the next episode, which is this one. We have Spurs at home in the Premier League, Bayer Leverkusen in the second leg, and then Burnley in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. My issue is we can't afford to drop points against Spurs, as them and City are breathing down our necks. We're 3-1 up against Bayer Leverkusen with 3 away goals, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. And finally, I love playing the youngsters and the young rotated team in the FA Cup, but I'm worried if we simulate it, we will get broken down and beat. It's very, very, very difficult to make these decisions because, of course, we're doing so well right now in the Premier League. We want to continue to do so. We've got the situation over if I simulate the game in the FA Cup in the quarterfinals, it's a simulated game, we may well get beaten, knocked out, and that is something that I don't want to do. And then, of course, if we lose to Bayer Leverkusen, we're knocked out of the Champions League. So I'm kind of put in a very, very sticky situation. Now, Theo said, just play the game against Spurs, simulate the FA Cup with the youngsters, and play Bayern if you think you're not going to beat them. Now, for me, I really enjoy playing with players that don't get into the team and some of the young players. So playing in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup for me is great because I love seeing the new potential, the young potential that can break through into the starting 11 potentially this season or potentially next season. A bit like Kiana Hoover's done, Harry Wilson's done, Ryan Kent's done. In season 1, we played them a lot in some of like the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, and now this season they're starting to be rotated in the starting 11. So really, I do enjoy playing with the young team. I have made a decision. I'm going to play the game against Spurs. I'm going to play the game against Burnley, and I'm going to risk simulating the game against Bayer Leverkusen. I think Theo's right. I think we are 3-1 up against Bayer Leverkusen. They would have to come and score 3 goals at Anfield, and we would have to score none. I don't think that that's going to happen to us. I think we're too much of a good team, so I highly doubt that we are going to get knocked out of the Champions League. That could be my famous last words, but we'll have to wait and see. Next comment coming in from Ethan. Great video, Brad. Can't wait until we beat the Blues. Well, that aged well, Ethan. We didn't beat the Blues. We actually drew, which was a little bit of a nightmare. Next comment coming from Savage Child. Great content, but do you think you should start Keita instead of Gini Wijnaldum? Also, do you think Arsenal will beat Man City because they lost to Brentford City at home? Full-time predictions for Everton and Palace. Well, I'll tell you my predictions first. For Everton, I went 4-0, and for Palace, I went 3-0. We've just played Palace a couple of hours ago, and we beat them 4-0. We drew with Everton 0-0, which wasn't a great game, but it was our first game back in a very long time. Should I start Keita over Gini? Simply because of the reason of me rotating Keita. I do that because I want to keep it realistic. And right now, Keita doesn't start for Liverpool. That's why I play Gini and Henderson over like Keita and the Ox. But maybe in today's episode, we will start Keita for one game, as you asked so nicely. And do you think Arsenal beat Man City? Well, that never happened either. Arsenal are having a terrible time right now. Loads of injuries that are getting picked up for them. And it just doesn't look like a good team anymore. Arsenal used to be top of the top. And now they're just a mid-table team, which is a shame to see. But I'm sure Arteta over the next couple of years will be able to do something if he gets to the back end of the board and money injected. Because that is the only way that Arsenal are going to become a better team. Next comment coming in from Theo saying, also start Arthur, you've already seen what he can do. Yes, I have seen what he can do. He's incredible on the ball. He's great at passing, really comfortable on the ball. But similar to the situation I was just saying there about Naby Keita to Savage Child, I can't just bring a player in like Arthur and just start him. That's not how football works. If Liverpool bought Arthur in real life, he'd have to work really hard to try and push Henderson or Gini out of the team. Until he's doing that, he's not going to start. Although, having said that, he may well start in the game against Burnley in the FA Cup. I will have to wait and see, but I'm pretty sure I might start him in the midfield with the likes of Curtis Jones. Next comment in from Charlie saying, great video as always, bro. Love to see a full house of wins here. It looks like you made the right choice with the games that you simmed. Well, I'm hoping I'm going to make the right choice as well in today's episode with the game that I do sim and the 2 games that I do play. But I do appreciate that comment, Charlie. And yeah, hopefully another full house of wins in today's episode. Next comment coming from Theo saying, great content with an okay. Thank you very much, Theo. I appreciate that a lot. Corey said, I voted on your polls. You're really good and doing great with subscribers compared to January. Really impressed. Thank you very much, Corey. I appreciate that. I wasn't too sure what you meant over the subs, and it's because in January we hit 1k subs. Now we're on about, I think it's 1.3 subs. So over the last 6 months or so, we've gained an extra 300. I did have, unfortunately, about 5 or 6 weeks away. I think it was a total of 80 or 90 days when I moved house, which we did lose a couple of subs. We're yet to gain them back, but I'm sure as I keep grinding it out and working hard for you guys and producing the best content that I can, I'm sure it's only a matter of time before they come back or other people subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please go and click that subscribe button. It is a massive help, and the bigger we can grow this community, the better it is for us all. But that is going to do it for the comment section from the last episode. We can now focus on the game against Jose Mourinho's team, and that is the London side Spurs. Now, the good thing is I've been recording now for 8 minutes. Probably by the time I edit it, because there's a few little bits I can cut out, it's probably about 7 minutes. What I said to you guys, especially with the Dortmund career mode, is I've been in a situation where I'm producing anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes rather than 20 to 30 minute long episodes. I'm trying to stop that, so I've blasted through the comments, told you guys, apologised about the fan. Obviously my hair's really long, 27 degrees in here, there's nothing I can do, it is so hot. I'm just going to have to make sure I keep taking little breaks, having a drink, letting the fan try and cool me down. But as long as I can get through the comment section at the start, we can pretty much just get straight into these games, and that's exactly what I'm going to plan to do, for the simple reason of, well, I want to make these quick and enjoyable so you guys can watch them in one session rather than some of you having to watch 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, wait a couple of days, finish the video. Because watching 40 minutes, it's like watching an episode or a series on Netflix. So trying to make it as quick as possible. I know a few of you said, Brad, I'd love the videos longer. I do appreciate that. But because of the simplicity and me wanting to just make content for you guys to watch and make it easy for you to watch, whether it's on the way to work on the bus or on the way to work, on the way to college on the bus or school or whatever it is, in the car getting dropped off by your parents, I want to make it as easy and enjoyable as possible. But you can now see the lineup. We've gone with Sadio Mane out on the left wing, Bobby Firmino at striker, Salah out on the right wing, Gini Wijnaldum linking up with the captain Jordan Henderson in the central midfield. A little deeper, we've got Fabinho in the central defensive midfield, and then Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez and Trent at the back with Alisson between the sticks. You can see the only player that isn't fully fit, and that is because he is grinding it out, playing game after game, and that is the Brazilian man between the sticks, Alisson. I will certainly rotate him, give him a rest when we do play Burnley, and I'll be putting Adrian between the sticks. Hopefully that won't make too much of a change, because Adrian is a great keeper in real life. He's pulled off some incredible saves and helped us win many things so far at Liverpool. I'm hoping he can do that against Burnley in the FA Cup. A very tough start to today's episode. We're taking on Spurs. This is huge. They're breathing right down our necks. So are Manchester City. Getting the 3 points and potentially starting to push away from Spurs will be huge, especially because I'm sure we play Manchester City soon. But we are at home. We are here. We are at Anfield. We are live and raring to go, and I am hoping we are going to dominate against this Spurs side as Bobby Firmino does get us kicked off in this first half period. Let's get it underway, and come on, Redmen. Mo Salah. Henderson. Henderson going to feed that through now to Trent. This is beautiful little dig in now, looking for Bobby Firmino in the middle. It's going to come to Gini, who's going to hit the post, and it's cleared away. On the inside, Salah, good lad. Go on, Bobby, let's go, son. Let's go. I need a Bobby running well out wide there. Bobby's going to fight for it, and he's going to come away with it. And potentially, I can see Mane towards the back post. Great ball in. Mane's there! 1-0! Get in there! That was a beautiful bit of football, if I do say so myself. Bobby Firmino not giving up on that ball, kept fighting for it, wins it, and then drills one across the goal. Beautiful drill ball in. Gazzaniga come across towards the near post for Mane, and Mane just cuffs it into that far right corner. Gazzaniga had already committed coming towards the near post, and Sadio Mane does tuck away for his 13th goal this season in the Premier League. Van Dijk through there now to Henderson. Henderson has now got the run of Mo Salah. If Bobby wants to get on the right side, Bobby's going to need to get in behind. He's not really got into the position I wanted. Mo Salah on his left foot, looks to tuck home. Mo Salah makes it 2-0. Perfect. Absolutely perfect football from this Liverpool side so far. We're doing exactly what I train the lads to do. Win the ball back, literally suffocate the opposition, and when we get the ball, get up the other end of the pitch. Loads of players in the box, make runs, dart in and out, and most importantly, make a bit of space if someone does want to shoot. Mo Salah opens that body up, gets it round Nelson Semedo, gets it round Eric Dyer, and also past Gazzaniga between the sticks. 2-0, and it's not even half time yet. Henderson going to get on it. Dele Alli's there, Alisson's there. I'm just going to boot this upfield looking for Mo Salah to go. We're not even going to get that final chance to run with Mo Salah, as the referee does play for half time at Anfield. We're going in with a very, very strong 2-0 lead. I don't feel like we've had pressure from Spurs. I feel like we've controlled the game very well, and I'm very impressed with how the whole starting 11 is playing, as Spurs do look to get us kicked off in this second half period. Harry Winks has managed to skip past them. We're in a bit of trouble now as the ball comes in. Robertson's there, Winks is there, and it's a great save from Alisson. That is what I get for unfortunately pulling Van Dijk out of position. Uh-oh, I've been done there. Going to get a shot off. Just get rid of the ball, and it's over from Kane. He's offside anyway. Let's see if we can work this into the box. Get it in now to Bobby, who's going to turn and hit it first time. Referee, that's going to be a penalty. Eric Dyer has tripped up Bobby Firmino as he tried to hit it. And he said Fabinho then. Eric Dyer will not be happy with that. I turned with Bobby and has a look to hit it. Dyer's all over the back of him. And it does end up with the referee pointing to the spot. Fabinho should be able to bury this one. And I'll look to put it away in the top right. I do hate the penalties on this. You really got to get it right. Let's look for Fabinho. Top right, Fabinho puts home. 3-0, game over. I am sorry, Jose Mourinho in real life. I am sorry, Pochettino. But that is Spurs done for. It's over, it's finished. And that was the last nail in the coffin. Track him down. There we go. And as it's played back, the referee is going to blow for full time. A comfortable 3-0 victory there. Didn't feel like, other maybe one or two chances the Spurs had, there wasn't that much pressure really. I felt like we controlled the game well. And the stats, although they had a lot more of the ball, it just goes to show that when we had the ball, we've done a lot more with it. We had 7 shots, 4 on target. They had 5 shots, 2 on target. Only 46% of the ball. But I felt like that was the situation when we had less of the ball. We made sure when we had the ball, we'd done something with it. Bobby Firmino does go on to pick up man of the match with a 9.0. And we now can look ahead to the game against Burnley in the FA Cup quarter-finals. Right, and up next, we're taking on Burnley in the round 6 quarter-finals of the FA Cup. And I am very, very excited for this game. As I've told you guys many times, I love using a rotated team. I love using young players. I love using players like Milner that struggle to get into the team. Now, it's really enjoyable to play a completely different starting 11, and sometimes it really makes it a little bit of a challenge. Like that game there against Spurs, we dominated, we were the better team, we controlled it well. Whereas when you bring the likes of Vandenberg at the back at the overall 77 rating, Larouci, Jones, you bring in young, low-rated players, you really then have to work well with the team. It can't just be about putting a long ball through and getting Mo Salah in behind, because can Jones put a through ball through to Origi from the halfway line? Probably not. He's only 67 overall rating, so you really have to work a whole different tactic and work to your advantage. and work out where the weak points are in the opposition. But you can see we've gone with Ryan Kent out on the left wing, Divock Origi at striker, Harry Wilson out on the right wing, Curtis Jones linking up with Naby Keita in the central midfield. A little deeper, we've got Marco Grujic in the central defensive midfield, and then Larouci, Matip, Vandenberg and Klein at the back with Adrian between the sticks. Finally, Alisson is getting his well-deserved rest. Hopefully, we'll be back fully fit for the game up next after this one against Bayer Leverkusen. Come on, Redmen, we've got this. Back at Anfield, the fans are here to see the young squad take on Burnley at home. I am excited for this game. Naby Keita, I look forward to seeing him get on the score sheet in today's game, as Divock Origi is going to get us kicked off in this first half period. Let's get it underway. Let's have to track all the way here to get to McNeil. Ball coming in, let's get rid of that ball. Well done, Larouci. Let's keep on them, they're still in behind. It's 1-0. Paulinho makes it 1-0 Burnley. They don't deserve to be winning. Through now. Oh, we've given the ball away. That's going to be a problem. That is going to be a problem. Paulinho through to Duvan. It's offside, but it is 2-0 Burnley before the offside is going to be given. Wow, Burnley are punishing us, you know. If they get through on goal, they are meaning business here. Oh, it's Townsend. Stay on your feet, stay on your feet. Ball in. Adrian with a great save. We need to be going in here at half time. 1-1. It has to. Come on, Naby. Come on, Klein. Ball now coming in. Let's get that ball out. Nicely done. Let's just deal with it. And as Grujic plays it straight into the path of Dolberg, the referee, thankfully for us, is going to blow for half time. We are going in 1-0 down. Burnley have just been the much more superior team, and I don't usually do this, but I am already going to look to make a couple of changes. I'm going to put Jones over on the right. I'm going to drop Naby Keita for Arthur. I'm also going to bring Neres on for Harry Wilson, who is just losing energy like there is no tomorrow. The team is looking really tired already. We've been getting run ragged by Burnley as Kasper Dolberg kicks us off in the second half. We need to find this next goal. If it goes to Burnley, it's going to be a long way back. There's Dolberg. Dolberg's going to get past. Let's go, Sepp Vanberg. Ball in. It's 2-0. It's Paulinho. I said if it went 2-0 Burnley, we were going to be in trouble. It's now 2-0 Burnley. This is a long, long way back. I have to find someone in the middle. Ryan Kent. In now to Curtis Jones is coming forward. Curtis Jones puts it in looking for Arthur. Yes! It's going to go down as an own goal. Curtis Jones puts it in looking for Arthur coming into the box. And it is a Burnley player that puts it in the back of their own net. They lobbed their own keeper. It's unlucky. Let's have a little look at this. Curtis Jones puts it across. He just gets a toe to it, and unfortunately puts it in the back of his own net. I think it come from Paulinho. That's a hat-trick for Paulinho. 2 in our net, 1 in his own. Here's Grujic. Grujic's going to lose the ball there now. It's unfortunate. And they're going to come forward once again here. Be careful of Dolberg. Very tricky in the middle. Ball in now to Duvan. Got to be careful. 3-1.
This goal really reflects how they've been playing.
I mean, the fact he's hitting it from there, he's got too much space. Matip, well out of position. Let's go back into Minamino. Got Arthur wanting to make the run there now. It's Arthur. Back through to Minamino. Who's going to get past one? Minamino! 3-2. 12 minutes, lads. 12 minutes. Knockout, baby. Well done, Arthur. Great ball through back to Minamino. Gets on the better side of the Burnley defenders and puts it in the back of the net. Come on. 12 minutes. Can we find a third? I've got Neres ran out wide. This is beautiful. Come back on side for me. Come back on side. Neres now coming forward. The keeper's come for it. It's over. It is over when they kick this out. Unless we win this, it could do something with it. Dolberg's going to win it and head it right back. Win it. Oh, come on, Klein. You're better than that. Come on, son.
Game here, and it's finished 3-2. Well, they've come here, a chance to get into the semi-finals, but they've been knocked out, going out of the quarter-finals. But it was a good run, but not good enough.
No, not quite. I think the better team won. They just couldn't quite produce some of their best football when it mattered.
Sean Dyche and his Burnley team have knocked us out of the FA Cup in the quarter-finals. Absolutely devastated. absolutely devastated. I think, personally, the difference between having Adrian in goal compared to Alisson was huge for us. We're very consistent. We had 3 shots, 3 on target. We did put 2 in the back of the net. Excuse me. But Burnley just overpowered us. 9 shots, 5 on target, more possession. There wasn't much we could have done about that, but to fight and fight till the very end, we absolutely played our heart out. Minamino coming on as well and getting a goal. I said he might make the difference. He did come on and get a goal. He also does pick up our man of the match with an 8.0. That is a tough pill to swallow. We are knocked out of the Emirates FA Cup by Burnley by getting beat 3-2 in the quarterfinals. Heartbreaking. Well, a lot of pressure now lies on this final game at home against Bayer Leverkusen, because we started off today's episode very comfortable, very strong, beating Spurs 3-0. Then we come up against Burnley. Now, yeah, okay, we played a completely rotated team. We didn't play our usual starting 11. We rotated pretty much every single position. We put up a good fight, but we did lose 3-2. I'm hoping now, as we do put back our usual starting 11, we can come back strong and get this very important win over Bayer Leverkusen, because if we do beat them in the second leg, we do knock them out of the Champions League. If they beat us and score more than 3 goals when they now travel to Anfield, then unfortunately they will knock us out of the Champions League. But we have gone with Sadio Mane out on the left wing, Bobby Firmino striker, Salah out on the right wing, Gino Wijnaldum linking up with the skipper Jordan Henderson in the central midfield roles. A little deeper, we've got Fabinho in the central defensive midfield, then Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez and Trent at the back with Alisson between the sticks. I personally think the likes of Van Dijk and Alisson being back, Van Dijk in the defence, Alisson between the sticks, I honestly think if we'd have done that against Burnley, that would have been a whole different game. Sepp Van Berg struggled, Matip struggled, Adrian couldn't keep the ball out the back of the net. It was a tough one, but hopefully as we get these players warmed up, we can finish on a high, bounce back, and we batter them 4-0, but Van Dijk picks up an injury. Oh, no. No. So Dortmund beat Real Madrid. I do believe, from my memory of the last episode, Real Madrid were 1-0 up against Dortmund away from home. Dortmund have beat Real Madrid 2-0 away from home, which means Dortmund have now knocked Real Madrid out. We have certainly knocked out Bayer Leverkusen, as we call them now. Bayer always losing. Mane gets 2, Bobby gets 1, Trent gets 1. You don't see Trent getting many goals in this career mode, but Kramaric does miss a penalty in the 44th minute. The only goals we can see is the one from Trent in the 62nd, and then Sadio Mane, one of his, in the 73rd. So by the 44th minute, we'd already had a Bobby goal and a Mane goal, and we're already 2-0 up by half-time. Van Dijk has picked up an injury. He did have to come off as well for Lovren in the 46th minute. I really am going to keep my fingers crossed. You guys at home, keep your fingers, your toes, your eyes, keep everything crossed. Because if Van Dijk's injury is serious, bearing in mind, we're coming to the end of March, the start of April, we haven't got long to go in this second season at Liverpool. If we were to unfortunately lose Van Dijk for the rest of the season, it would be absolutely catastrophic. I will be absolutely gutted if we have lost Van Dijk for more than a couple of days. Well, maybe I should have played the Spurs game, simulated the Burnley game, and played the Bayer Leverkusen game, because A, we may have beat Burnley in the simulated game, but more importantly, Van Dijk wouldn't have got injured in the simulated game and put himself out for 6 weeks. As we head over to the office, we can go and see what the senior physiotherapist is saying. Bad news, Virgil van Dijk has suffered a broken rib and will be out for about 6 weeks. We'll do what we can to get him back in training according to the above timeline. So realistically, he's not going to be fit or starting to come back to fitness for at least 4 or 5 weeks. Probably not playable for 6 weeks. We have picked up some tournament prize money in the Champions League, 9.5 million, which is nice. Kiana Hoover has returned from his injury. It was nice, and we did say at the end of March he would be back ready to go. To the 20th of March. He's starting to get back to full fitness, which is good to see. And then, of course, we're not on track, but we don't really tend to look at the board objectives. But we have lost Van Dijk for 6 weeks. That is massive for us. It means we're going to have to partner Matip and Gomez. They haven't played together through season 1. They haven't played together in season 2. But we are put in an absolutely spectacular position when it comes to Chelsea, who are currently 1 point behind us, but have, played 2 more games than us. Man City still 3 points behind. We'll eventually come to play Man City again. We've got to make sure we capitalise on that. And once we gain those 3 points on City, we've already gained 3 points on Spurs. We should be able to break away pretty easy, because then you've got Chelsea down in 4th, 28 played, only on 65 points, currently 8 points behind us. So we are absolutely flying, and we are ending today's episode still top of the Premier League, which is what I like to see. But as we head over to the calendar, of course, as Van Dijk gets injured, I said that City will be playing them. It'll only be around the corner, and it is literally around the goddamn corner. It's only next week, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? We have Watford at home in the Premier League. We then have Manchester City on the 31st of March, also at home. Then we move into the month of April, where we take on Norwich away from home. Our next, as well, there we go, a little spoiler, our next Champions League team that we face off against, I think it's pronounced Piemonte, but we know them better as Juventus. We know them as Juve. A very, very difficult team to play in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We will have Ronaldo wanting to boss the Liverpool defence, and unfortunately with Van Dijk being out for 6 weeks, it's going to be solid to defend against Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's work out. So we're currently here. So 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, 5 week, 6. We will be lucky to have Van Dijk back for the final 3 games in May against Chelsea, Burnley, and the newly promoted team Leeds United. The only good thing is, if we manage to continue our winning ways in the Champions League, then it'll be in the month of June, somewhere here, where we will have the final. We're unfortunately knocked out now of the FA Cup. We got knocked out of the Carabao Cup. We've just got to focus now on the Premier League and the Champions League. But putting Van Dijk out till the start of May, look at all those games. We have Norwich. We have a first and second leg against Juventus. We have the newly promoted Fulham. We have the Merseyside derby away from home. We have Newcastle. We have Bournemouth. But in the next episode, we have the ability to push that gap even bigger as we do take on the blue side of Manchester, that being Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. We're at home as well. So looking at the current standings, I think I'll have a little look at the Premier League, but I'm going to play the game against Watford, play the game against City, and then simulate the game against Norwich. If Norwich are higher than Watford in the Premier League right now, I will change that round. So let's take a little look at the Premier League table at the moment. So let's scroll down the list. Watford are in 14th, and Norwich are bottom with 7 points. They've only won one of their game in 30 games. 1 win, 4 draws, 25 losses. So 100% we will be simulating that game away from home against Norwich and hoping that we can get the win, which means we kick off against Watford playing that game. We then take on Manchester City. It's going to be a massive game, and with Van Dijk being out for 6 weeks, it is the worst time for Van Dijk to pick up an injury. What an absolute nightmare. Should I have gone with simulating the Burnley game? We may have even won it. I didn't want to risk it because I didn't want to get knocked out. We ended up getting knocked out anyway. And if I'd have played the game against Bayer Leverkusen, Van Dijk may well have not picked up a 6-week injury with a broken rib. Heartbreak to the fans, heartbreak to the players, heartbreak to the manager, heartbreak to you guys at home. Van Dijk is out for 6 weeks. We are going to have to adjust, adapt, and hopefully Matip and Gomez can start gelling nicely instantly against Watford and can prove to be a solid partnership while Van Dijk is sidelined. But that is going to do it for today's episode, guys. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it a big thumbs up for me. Don't forget to drop your comments down below. If you're new around here, click that subscribe button. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. And I've been MassiveBrad. Peace out.